Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got a super exciting knife review / knife overview to share with you guys. This is the Civivi and Civivi Vision FG. This is, of course, the little brother, I guess we'll call it the little brother, to the Vision R, which is the premium version made by We. These were both designed by Civivi, and they are both really cool. They have the super lock, but this is really special. I'm gonna go ahead and say that right now, as of this very moment, this is the very best knife that Civivi has ever made. I love this knife, and I think you should definitely pick it up. I'm gonna link this thing down in the description. I'm gonna tell you why. Believe me, I'm gonna review this. But I knew this was gonna be spectacular, and I got it in, and I was like, yes, oh God. I'm so happy that this is exactly what I want it to be. Like I said, this thing will be linked right down in the description. It does have a few different variations. Some of them slightly less expensive than others, but you can check all of them out by clicking the link down below. Thanks so much to Civivi for sending this in for review. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me, and please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. Let's go ahead. Have to have my tape measure out. Let's go ahead and measure it. Overall length coming in at just about 8 inches, 7.85 inches overall. Blade length is coming in at 3.5. Cutting edge is coming in at 3 inches. Let's go ahead and do some size comparisons up against the Ontario Rat Model 1 and the Ontario Rat Model 2. Definitely kind of an in-between knife for sure. Let's go ahead and put it up against, I'd say maybe some other less expensive knives. The CJRB Pyrite. Let's put it up against the large Pyrite. I think that might be a good idea as time progresses, especially. How about up against something like the Civivi Button Lock Elementum? There we go. And the Demco 80-20.5. What else might be a good idea? How about the Benchmade Bug Out? I think that might be a good one there too. And that's probably enough. How's the action? Oh boy, the action. The action, that is, that's the thing there, huh? It's something special when you can get a lock that is organic to operate, is satisfying to deploy and, manipulate or, release, I guess. And then it's, another thing on top of that to have a lock that is incredibly sturdy. This super lock, right, unless he's somehow named it something different for the Civivi, I'm unaware of that. It looks to be the same thing to me. It's an incredibly strong lock. I know that there's some testing videos out there, and it's really, really impressive. It operates similarly to, it's not the same thing as the Shark lock. It's just a lock that operates on the spine. There's a coil spring, and you pull it backwards. But it works perfectly. I'll tell you what I love about this versus the Vision R, which I very much love, and I think it's one of the best We knives that's ever been made. On the Vision R, when you pull backwards, if you pull back far enough, it actually comes out, which is part of the disassembly process, and that's by design. This lock does not do that. It doesn't clear the stop pin, which makes me really happy. It's very rare. It was very rare that while, playing with this or using it, that I would actually pull that thing out of there on accident, but it did happen a couple of times, and it bothered me just a little bit. I still love it, but it bothered me on this guy. It just doesn't, no matter how hard I pull, it's not going past, it's not going to clear that stop pin. It just doesn't, that's underneath there. You can kind of see where it's at, maybe you can't see, but it's not going to do that. And that's, I like that a lot. That makes me really happy. Deploying it with a thumb stud has its own unique satisfaction. Deploying the thing with the thumb hole or the finger hole on this guy is also, has its own satisfaction. This is almost exclusively, you can do it with the thumb as well. This guy you can, deploy, you can reverse flick it, or you can do the thumb flick. Either way, it works just fine. Some people were going to say, I wish that it still had the hole. Some people are going to say, I'm glad it has thumb studs. I think probably a good idea would have been to just do both, right? But it's fine. With the thumb studs, I'm happy with it. I'm not missing the thumb hole here. It's totally fine. It works really, really well. The thumb studs are comfortable. They work reliably. It's super snappy. And I mean, you can also just use the lock to whip it in and out if you want to. But deploying it has a nice, satisfying thwack to it. just feels really, everything feels good. Everything feels so properly designed. I can't fully express how good it feels to deploy this thing. Coming from somebody who has fidgeted with literally thousands of knives on this channel, I very much enjoy this. It's very good. Carry profile, thickness. Let's put it up against the Vision R first. I normally do a different knife. You can see here it's quite a bit thicker, and that's because this guy's got a titanium frame, and this has steel liners, and then it's got fairly thick, in this case, micarta scales. You can also get this guy in G10. It's going to be a little bit thicker. Up against the Spyderco Para 3, it is still just a hair thicker, length and height, up against the PM2 and the Para 3. This guy has a fairly narrow profile, especially versus these knives. So while it is slightly thicker, it's nowhere near as tall. And truthfully, my care experience with this thing was wonderful. I didn't really notice it. And I got to be honest with you, between these two, and I will always love the Wii version. I kind of like that this guy feels the hand a little bit better. The only thing different that I'm feeling here is the pocket clip, because it is present on this side, and is, once again, Civivi's like, make sure you put that freaking dragon bill on it. Make sure you put this freaking goose bill on it right here. We got to put that on there. Metal Complex hates that. That's just the one thing, man. That's going to be the one thing that I'm going to complain about. This, the Vision R has it on the spine, right? Sort of John Graham Razzle style, right? I did this. It works. I don't really like this, right? But the benefit to it is that you didn't have it going into your palm. This can be remedied when the pocket clip looks something like this, because this won't bother you. At least it won't bother you nearly as much. This is ridiculous. I don't know why they did this. That's the only thing that I noticed. Outside of that, I kind of like the extra thickness. I kind of like a little bit extra, kind of like a little bit extra meat in my hands. There's not. I can't escape. I can't. It's unescapable. I walked into it. I had to finish the sentence. Anyways, let's move on here. I kind of like it. That's my point. Let's go ahead and do a hardware check. I'm going to go ahead and get out my tools. As per usual, my tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the section of my description that talks about the tools on this channel. I'm not going to do a full disassembly of this. I think it's fairly straightforward. I would imagine somebody like Nick Shabazz will do a full disassembly at some point. The pivot is a TA and the pocket clip screws, and the only other screws that I can see that you have access to are actually right here, which makes sense. It goes to the standoff, right? So I'd imagine those are your access screws, and the rest of it should be pretty straightforward. I couldn't imagine it's horribly difficult, right? But maybe I'll be wrong. But yeah, as far as the disassembly, we have T6 and we have a T8. Not really that big of a deal. In fact, very minimal hardware. I think that's pretty great. As long as you have the right tools for the job, you should be good to go. Let's go ahead and measure blade stock thickness. Blade stock thickness on this guy coming in at 120? Less, 116, probably 115 thousandths. So on the thin side, definitely. Let's go ahead. Oh, wait, did we weigh it? I don't think we did. Micarta, steel, and I think it's Nitro V. Where is it? Is that what it says right there? Yeah, right there, Nitro V. Which is fine. I like Nitro V. The weight is 4.13 ounces as compared to the titanium one, which actually weighs less. 4.13 ounces for a blade that is 3.5 inches long is still fairly good ratios. And again, I didn't really, around this weight, I don't really notice it much anyway until it gets down to about the 2 ounce mark. Then I start to notice, hey, this is a really lightweight knife. I think it's pretty good. Balance on this guy, we are slightly butt heavy, not enough to where it's really going to throw it off to the point where you just are like, oh my gosh, this thing is so wonky and weird. No, I think most people are going to have a fairly good experience with this. All right, meat and potatoes time. This has essentially the same ergonomic shape as the Wii guy. It is just thicker and in micarta. I like this profile. It doesn't have like a hand melting ergonomic lock-in, but it's good enough, and you can get up behind the blade. You have a nice roomy choil area where you can choke up, and I like this. I like this style. You're gonna know good and well before you get close to that cutting edge, right? But it just creates for so much ergonomic room. And while this area is not, shaped perfectly to accommodate for the human hand. It does just kind of leave it open and says, put your hands wherever you want, right? Wherever's the most comfortable for whatever you're going to do. And I think that's great. You can get up here, do your draw cuts, right? You can do your freaking hammer grip, push down cuts, your whatever, right? Your sort of package opening, hold it like this, whatever you're going to do. Honestly, I think this knife will be well suited for general EDC where you're doing nothing but opening packages that contain other knives. Or if you're going to go outside and process fairly heavy materials for a long period of time, I think this will be just fine. The only thing that's going to slightly bother you is the pocket clip. Seriously, people who make aftermarket pocket clips, get on this because this thing needs an upgrade. This pocket clip on this sucks. And the only reason I'm saying that, it's really not that bad of a clip. But the whole rest of the knife is so good, it just pisses me off so much that they're like, put this stupid clip on this. Oh my God, what is the point of this? It makes me so mad that Civivi can collaborate with somebody and create an absolute masterpiece. And they're like, you know what? Let's make a slightly different clip. We have the capability to obviously make a different clip, but let's definitely put this same lock. There is no benefit to this. All this does is create discomfort in the hand and grab on to everything. You walk by a merry-go-round, you're going with it. You walk by a bunch of freaking cables and hooks. You walk by a crane with a hook on the end of it. Guess what? You're going with it because your pocket clip is going to attach to it and it's going to launch you into the freaking sky. Not really. But what's going to happen is it's going to bend the clip out. And then now I don't have a clip. Stupid. Change this. This blows. I'm sick of seeing it on every single Civivi knife. Oh my God, it is so easy. There's a clear benefit to a clip that has a drop and a slight swoop because it comes in and out of the pocket easier and it doesn't snag, at least not nearly as often. Civivi, change this, please. God. Anyways, I love this knife so much. I'm getting heated because I'm passionate about this design. I'm very passionate. All right. Anyways, manipulation of the lock, like I said, ridiculously easy. Whoops, just cut the background. Ridiculously easy. I would say almost like impossible to accidentally disengage it considering how you're gripping it when you're using it. There's simply no way to hold this thing naturally where you're going to accidentally disengage the lock. And the lockout is absolute. This is a very strong lock. The cutting profile, the cutting geometry is also wonderful. Nitro V is a very well-balanced steel. I like the nearly fully flat ground blade. Sort of sheep's kind of a very modified drop pointy sheep's foot something or other. I don't know what you want to call it. Blade shaped police can call it whatever they want, right? Octopus Tuesday high five surprise is what I refer to it as when I can't say exactly what it is and I don't really care. It will work very, very well for general EDC style tasks. I also really like how this knife looks. It's one of the only knives I've ever seen where I'm like, you know what? Yeah, it actually looks like it should have holes on it. It looks good. It looks like something interesting, right? I kind of like this sort of grayish green micarta mixed with the black. This version they sent me, I actually kind of dig it. I think it looks pretty cool. Something else that I really, really love is the fact the only thing that's good about the clip is that it can be mounted for both left and right hand carry, which is fantastic because this is an ambidextrous design. They have this thing, it's just sort of like, yeah, it just works. You don't have to detach it. It just works both ways. I'm glad they changed it. A lot of people said that was really great. I disagree. I didn't like it so much. It worked, but it wasn't my favorite thing. I would still rather have a dedicated, position for the clip on either face side. I'm really happy that they included lefties here. There is technically a lanyard bar. I mean, I guess, I don't know if that's exactly what that is, but you could attach a lanyard to it if you wanted to. I mean, who cares at this point, right? In and out of the pocket, it's fine because the bill is straight. In some cases, it will fight the seam of your pocket because, again, a ramp rises to meet most pocket seam thicknesses, but when you have a flat bill, it goes right into it, and then you have to dick with it. Yeah. Stupid clip. Oh man, it's just this freaking thing is sitting at 99% right now. And there must be like some ultra higher up at Civivi that designed the clip and no one wants to say like, hey, we should change this. I want this to be perfect. And let's just go ahead and just put this, then we put the finishing touches right on this perfect golden baby awesome thing. Just, Snex created this beautiful, and Civivi's like, and we'll just go ahead and put the final touch in. Boop! So close. Oh my God. Anyways, there's the stop pin back there. No blade play up, down, left, or right. No lock stick. No pivot lash. Very smooth, very consistent. Nice snap into the closed position. Look at that. That's freaking beautiful. And we have perfect centering. This knife is, the cheapest version of this knife is $78. Another little... It's like I'm on my back, passed out from the absolute violence that they dropped on us with that clip, right? Civivi woke up and chose violence choosing that clip. So I'm on my back, just devastated, right? And they go up and they flick my nose. They flick my nose with the price tag. Oh, 75 or less? That's a budget knife? How about $78.20? I'm kidding. That's a totally fair price. I mean, I'm the one who said 75 or less is a budget knife on this channel. Honestly, I don't even care. Buy it. At $78.20, I'm making a big deal out of the clip. The first aftermarket company makes some, freaking amazing clip for this thing, is like, that's just going to be the way to go. It'll be worth buying it, because at that point, it'll be a perfect DDC knife in my book. But buy it, even with this clip, right? And if you're like, I kind of like the Knock Nest Monster clip, I kind of like having my clip snag bend off and, to be like, oh, I destroyed another clip. If you like that, if you're all about that, then yeah, you'll love this. It's perfect for you, right? But either way, this is a super ridiculously recommendable knife. This is going to go in my most recommended knives playlist, and it's going to go in my favorite knives of all time playlist, because it absolutely is one of my favorite knives of all time. It would have gone in all three playlists had it been literally even a penny under 75, even if it had been 75.00, right on the dot. I would have put it in my cheap knives I like playlist, right? The trifecta. Very few knives make it in all three playlists. This would have made it, but it's just the price is slightly over. Doesn't matter. Super worth it. Absolutely 100% one of my favorite knives of 2023, and definitely the best knife that Civivi has ever made. It would have been absolutely perfect if they had decided not to curse this beautiful profile with this tumor of a clip, but they did it anyway. So we were real close. Hats off to Snex, though. This is amazing. This is an incredible design. That's going to be pretty much it today, guys. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.